Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Death Stranding on the Mysterious JG. And warning, for those of you who are just mad for the action that is walking around very slowly looking for enemies to throw grenades at, this video, if all goes according to plan, and I can even get close to a full 30-minute video, I'm just going to take a little gameplay break here, because I feel like last time I got to a good stopping point for a session, but I'm going to try to throw in one more video, and just get caught up on some reading of in-game stuff that might be interesting to know. So we've got mail. I've only got one new mail to read, but it's from Victor Frank. Ever since you told me about my brother, I haven't been able to stop thinking about him. I told you about your brother, I took a break and queued up some videos to go public and gave things... One thing about my channel that's actually fairly unique amongst other YouTubers that I've interacted with is, I guess Zerf does it, but it's not that unique after all, but giving a unique video title and video description to every episode in the long-running series. Not everyone I know does that. So I was actually coming up with names for videos for other series, texting back and forth with my parents who are coming to visit me tomorrow, doing some other things. But yeah, okay, so let's give you the benefit of the doubt. It's been about 30 minutes since I told you about your brother. But I want to make one thing clear, though. I don't blame you for what happened. Hugo wouldn't either. I know that. It's weird, though. We weren't all that close, and back when he was alive, I'd go weeks without thinking about him. But now, well, ain't that the way these things always go? Thoughtful face. Even the most stoic person in this game uses emojis like some douchey... Well, whatever. You've still got that little keepsake of his? Sounds kind of stupid, but I started thinking of it like his alter ego or something. You know, it was his dream to go west with the second expedition, right? He never made it, but his favorite toy does. It almost feels... Ooh, what kind of toy is this? It almost feels like it would make up for it, at least a little. You showed the little guy the sights now, you hear? Lord knows I'll never get to see him. You taking care of your BB? Oh, the important ones are over here. They might give you, gameplay tips instead of just... whatever. So the interviews are going to be what takes a while if I do them. Die Hard Man, Dead Man... Heartman, other Dooms in the Zodiac. There's a Mama interview. Bridges staff. Let's do. BTs are reaching out to us. I'll read this one because I didn't mean to accidentally skip past it. 2.4 million years ago, Homo habilis started to get its own tools. Yeah, this is very important, don't you think? Our other sensory organs passively interpret data, but our eyes light, our ears sound, our noses smell, our mouths taste, but hands are different. To touch requires conscious action, to grasp more so. To connect that which is in our left hand with that which is in our right, still more. And the handprints we see when BTs seek out humans? Why, I'd say that's just evidence of our otherworldly friends yearning to forge a connection. They're reaching out to us, attempting to bridge the gap between the realm of the dead and that of the living. And then Mama. So the core infrastructure is complete. The basic Cupid-ready child network setup is good to go. Now all we have to do is connect Central Knot City to Capital and prove that it actually works. Sadly, I won't be there to see it. I've been assigned to the expansion team's second group, so I'll be heading west with the others. Yeah, we have not actually met her in person yet, have we? But the people in charge here are the best of the best. They'll have the network operational inside of 3 years, just as planned, I'm sure of it. And while they're seeing to that, we'll be visiting towns and whatnot across the country and putting up the facilities in order for when things are finally up and running. Emily and the others in the lead group will be forging the connections and laying the groundwork to make sure everything goes to plan. Afterwards, we'll just need to link it all up with operational Cupids, and that should be that. It's kind of like Angelo Apollo mission back in the day. They used a 3-stage rocket to get to the moon, right? We'll be using a 3-stage process to do something almost as revolutionary. To go to the Pacific Ocean. This I think we already read. At least that was marked as though it was already read. Isn't Fragile the lady that we met in the intro sequence? And we might be about to meet her again, actually, because we have to get a boat from this company. Whatever, it was marked as one we'd already read. It's 2 years ago, a distribution center west of Capital Knot City. It's been about a year now since we came here with the rear guard. The first folks there did us the favor of setting up the gyro relay and patching things up before we arrived, so we're doing all right. Not so sure about everyone else, though. Folks back at home sound kind of freaked out. We don't know what's going on in central or capital, let alone how Amelia and the others who kept heading west are doing. But something doesn't feel right. What's more, a lot of the guys have developed some kind of agoraphobia. Like the thought alone of going outside scares the shit out of them. See, the distro centers and way stations around these parts aren't like the ones back east. They're much more isolated, out in the middle of nowhere. Can't help but feel cut off from the world. And there's not a lot of staff on hand neither. Which means you often have to do the work of 2 guys, which can make it that much lonelier too. And then you factor in the terrorism rumors. Also, is it just me, or does it feel like there's more mules out there these days? Don't get me wrong, I know they're not out to get us. All they want is our cargo, right? Well, that doesn't change the fact that they're not making our work any easier. Especially since a lot of these guys used to be first-rate porters and could run rings around us if they hadn't, Still, for now, the network systems are up and running, and we're just holding out for the day with the second expedition of human working Cupid. Till then, we'll keep things trucking along. That much we can do for bridges and country, am I right? Timefall and power failures. I volunteered to join bridges, signed up with my brother. Oh, this is Igor. I volunteered to... Yes, master. I remember this guy doesn't talk like that at all, but... And we just met his brother, who's sad he's dead, but still... I volunteered to join bridges, signed up with my brother Victor. See, we both remembered when America was still America. When we still had planes and satellites, and we're still connected to everyone and everything. The world was different, bigger, and we wanted it back. Like the hunch on my back. He was chosen for the first expedition and hit the road damn near straight away. Me, I got told to hang back here in Central, which was okay, I guess. Corpse disposal means taking your fair share of timefall on the line of duty. You get a sense of it after a while. A sixth sense for when the clouds are about to open up. Of course, the clouds themselves are a big tell. And in inverse rainbows, guarantee you're in for some shit. There are smaller signs too. Changes in the air, a smell in the wind. When it hits, you've got power outages to deal with. As far as I understand it, which ain't all that far, it is to do with high concentrations of beryllium causing electromagnetic interference or something. It also interacts with water and kicks up clouds of ozone, or that makes the temperature drop like a rock. Yes, master. Anyway, I think I may be used to timefall, but that don't mean I'm immune to it. Believe me, I'm younger than I look. My big bro would take a lot of pleasure in telling you that if you could see me now. And Trillium coatings. Truth is, we discovered it by dumb luck. Folks had made a point of building cities outside of the timefall regions, but that base stations and the distro centers were a distant story. No way around it, really. I don't know what voice I've settled here. I guess he's Dracula. He's the boss of Igor. Even though all that exposure meant they're deteriorating quicker. But when you're keeping an eye out for things deteriorating, you soon notice how trillium crystals react when exposed to timefall, which is to say, not at all. They show no signs of degradation whatsoever. Stayed rock solid, even after getting soaked. Sort of made sense. Trillium comes from the beach, right? And over there, time doesn't pass. Timefall had no effect on the crystals because they may as well exist outside of time. And when we ran a few experiments, that's pretty much what we confirmed. Now I know what you're thinking. Why not build base stations out of trillium, right? Yeah, if only. Turns out overexposure to that stuff is lethal, and they can't be stored in large quantities either. Still, at least the trillium coatings we came up with do just enough to keep the rot manageable. That's something. Cool. I guess we'll just keep going down the list because I'm not sure I'm getting half an hour out of this anyway. But here's humanity's biggest problem: logistics. From Die Hard Man. War and famine have been inseparable parts of the human life since the rise of our species. He's the black dude with the like weird metal, like Army of One mask, right? Whatever. I guess he's got a metal mask on. And while the fall of America hasn't changed this fundamental truth, it's fair to say that these issues aren't pressing concerns. Can you remember the last time you heard of a prepper dying of starvation, much less someone in Knot City? No one's fighting over water or oil or anything else. Which isn't to say that people don't occasionally run out of supplies, but it's almost never because of a real shortage. It's usually a problem with logistics. In fact, it was to address such problems that the president created bridges and developed the Charter Network. So yeah, no one's that desperate. Everybody's got enough for themselves, which is what's led to the real problem. It's all too easy for people to become isolated from one another and eventually forget that others even exist. People are free to live for themselves. Is that such a terrible thing? For the moment, without a care for the future. The president understood this better than anyone, and I know so much it pained her. Yeah, I mean, Kojima's got this whole... He's on this whole thing where he wants this game to be all deep and talk about creating connections, but like the idea that people are free, that they can just kind of look after themselves if they so choose, doesn't sound that terrible. The Charter Network Experiments Between Central and Capital, Part 1. Madam President, this will be your new office from today. The relocation of your official residence has also been completed. The entire medical team has been brought along as well. Rest assured that information regarding this move has been shared on a need-to-know basis only. Understand that following the loss of New York, you wish to direct the reconstruction efforts from Central Knot City, but in light of recent activity on the eastern seaboard, we no longer consider it safe. We will see to it that people continue to believe you are in Central, and British HQ will operate as normal. As per your orders, the network research teams and delivered system management have all been centrally transferred here to Capital Knot City. I hope this is audible. I'm trying to do this speaking from the other side of a physical blockage, but make it understandable. We are doing our utmost to expedite testing of the Charter Network link between Central and Capital, while not neglecting your immediate medical needs, of course. This will be our base of operations for the next stage in the fight to rebuild America. Madam President, this is part 2 of our conversation. I'm happy to report that the trial was a success. The connection between Central and Capital was established without incident. No charter spikes or other irregularities. The Q-PID functioned within acceptable parameters as well. There's still a lot of work to do. Charter holograms, charter printing, and data recovery have yet to be proven viable. But the confirmation that the data can be recovered, being sent via email or via the Charter Network, is a huge step forward for the UCA. Our next step will be to use the Q-PIDs to establish connections with the other cities. Preparations for second expedition are already underway. We're still trying to track down, but as soon as they work on this, all we give is new command. Mules and local porters. When people hear mules, they think junkies driven crazy by a desire to steal supplies so desperately need to survive. Luckily for us, not all... Well, we so desperately... Apparently they don't need the supplies. They're just being jerks. The idea that the mules maybe need the supplies doesn't enter his mind. Luckily for us, not all couriers are predisposed to this condition. Not all mules, in fact. They're professionals once, and some still are. Some even complete proper deliveries from time to time. Fragile Express has been known to use them, along with independent porters. For those at risk of losing it, they say the only way to stave off the syndrome is to join a distro organization with strong leadership and support to help you keep on a straight and narrow. Or you can strike out on your own, but that's no easy path. There's a reason guys who run solo have a reputation for being bulletproof. Because they're constantly being sprayed with bullets. Likes secret oxytocin. Before the stranding, the whole world was connected. There were networks, social networks we called them, that people used to communicate all the time. They shared all sorts of stuff through them. A random thought, a pretty picture, a whole movie, you name it. What about food? Did they share food online? Well, sort of. There were apps for ordering food. And if you liked something that someone else uploaded, you let them know by giving them, well, a like. Sounds weird, I know, but that's the truth. Eventually, someone ran tests on the users of these networks and discovered that receiving a like triggered a rush of oxytocin. The theory was that it stemmed from a sense of being acknowledged. Even though you couldn't see the person you were interacting with, it still felt like they were accepting you, praising you, and who wouldn't like that? The same process at the heart of the meal phenomenon. It's believed that an overdependence on the oxytocin rush provided by these kinds of interactions, a factor in porters going rogue. With this in mind, it wouldn't be wrong to characterize mules as oxytocin addicts. Now, since they're social animals at the mercy of evolution. Okay, so mules, who are basically, at this point, the only enemy other than those monsters we've encountered are mules. And they're just like social media junkies who, please like and subscribe. I mean, I post videos. I occasionally ask people to comment on specific things. But, like, if you open and end each video with like and subscribe, here's the like button, here's the subscription button, then you are a mule. That's what they're saying. So we'll skip Dead Man stuff because I think we've already read it. We'll skip Timefall from Heartman because it looks like we've already read it. But yeah, we definitely don't have enough stuff to make a whole video here. Necrosis and the ancient Egyptian view of life and death. The Egyptians believed that we humans were composed of two elements, the Ha and the Ka, the body and the soul. Various texts expand upon the nature in detail, but perhaps it is simplest to conceive of them as follows. The soul is that which joins with the child in the womb and gives life to the body. It is also that which departs from the body upon death. Ergo, the body is simply a vessel. Should the soul return to it, it will live again. This is precisely what is observed in near-death experiences, the soul separated albeit briefly from the body. The Egyptians believed death not to be an instantaneous change of state, but a process by which the soul moves from one realm to another. That's why they had mummies preserving bodies as long as possible. But this process itself had changed, thanks to the Death Stranding and the normal order of things. When death occurs, the soul vacates the body and passes into the steam. From there it transitions to the beach, and only then on the world of the dead. But after the stranding, a soul that has already made its journey to the beach may attempt to return to its body in this world. It was hard to believe at first, but the process of necrosis provided proof of this phenomenon that was difficult to deny. This is why it was imperative that we burn the bodies of the dead. The body must be destroyed to sever that link with the soul. Only then will the soul be free to journey to the world beyond. Chiral symmetry. The word chiral comes from the Greek chia, meaning hand. Compare your left with your right. They seem similar in both size and shape, yes? Now face your palms away from you and place one hand over the other. Their shapes do not overlap exactly. But place your palms together, and voila. There's the church, here's the steeple. Open the door, and there's all the people. A match. It is as if one hand is in the mirror image of the other. But again, if you were to actually compare the mirror image of your hand to itself, we see they are not identical. This is the essence of this game. This is the essence of chirality, the state in which the mirror image of a shape does not match the original. It has been theorized that BTs are mirror images of ourselves. Were we to exist in the same point in time and space, our shape, as it were, would be not to overlap neatly onto another, save in reflection. And when our particles meet their opposite, a void-out occurs. The new form of communication or device utilizes beaches, which are akin to mirrors reflecting this world and the other, hence the term chiral network. Okay. Chiralium. You would like to know more about chiralium? Not really. I'm just trying to make sure the viewers at home understand the plot. Well, wouldn't we all? I am happy to present the latest theories, but you must be aware that this is all what they are, theories. Chiralium, like dark matter, was born along with the universe and has existed ever since, just not in a dimension we were able to perceive. Until now, I should say. It is the beach that gives us access to dimension. And with it knowledge Chiralium's existence, not just knowledge of it, of course. We have since observed it coalescing under crystalline form and recorded measurable physical and mental effects on the individuals exposed to it. It has reshaped our understanding of reality and proven instrumental in the formulation of the multiverse theory of beaches. Chiral matter is not affected by the passage of time. As far as these particles are concerned, none has elapsed since the Big Bang. Little wonder they escaped. None has elapsed since the Big Bang. Okay, whatever. No, little wonder they escaped unnoticed for so long, until man and BTs first came together in void out and left nothing but Chiralium in their wake. Many of these claims have yet to be verified, but I believe that this is a fair summary of the scientific community's current consensus of the matter. No pun intended. Matter, I guess, is the pun? I don't think it was current consensus. I shall soon be heading west with the first expedition, and I look forward to learning more about Chiralium and its connections to the beach along the way. Chiral Connections 1. Chiral Connections is the result of a prolonged exposure to chiral radiation, which is emitted by Chiralium, a substance discovered at the same time as the beach. Prolonged exposure can significantly impact physical and mental health. The effects are not dissimilar from those observed in individuals exposed to extremely high levels of stress, levels which can be fatal even. Some traumatic experiences, like listening to that baby cry in the background constantly, can alter hormonal secretions, impair immune response, contribute to heart failure, and induce strokes. The most common symptom of chiral contamination is poor sleep quality due to vivid nightmares. If left unchecked, however, it can quickly progress to a more advanced stage in which the aforementioned issues may be observed. The potential impact on an individual's mental health cannot be understated. The resulting hormonal imbalances frequently lead to heightened destructive impulses towards the self and others. I love it. Those dominated by such urges are named homodemons, the mad ones. In the case of some porters, such as mules, impaired memory and judgment has led them to develop an irrational obsession with their profession, hence the homogestalt moniker. While it should be feasible and preferable for most individuals to avoid chiral contamination at all costs, there are those with demonstrated resistance who need not be so cautious. I speak, of course, of dooms sufferers. Chiral contamination can be alleviated using similar methods to those used to alleviate stress, increasing oxytocin secretions through contact with other people, administering smart drugs, and so forth. In recent years, however, a hormone dubbed lyxin, known to mitigate the effects of chiral contamination, while also restoring basic physical and mental acuity, has attracted a great deal of attention from the scientific community. Unlike oxytocin, lyxin cannot be administered externally. It is secreted within the body, but only in response to external stimuli. It is said to be a hormone principally responsible for the positive feelings that occur when one achieves a goal, enjoys success, receives praise for gratitude, or any other form of like from a fellow human being. Okay, likes. It's very silly. The discovery of breaches in the concept of death. With the discovery of the beach, the fundamental truth of death was upended. I doubt you will find many who would deny this. Alas, we can say little with confidence in any objective scientific capacity, for our understanding of this new realm remains in its infancy and is ever evolving, much like our understanding of the universe as a whole. Perhaps the closest thing we have to a working explanation of the beach relates to the concept of a multiverse, but I digress. The beach is arguably both a concept and a reality. The discrete beach is influenced by the mind of the associated individual and therefore linked to them irrevocably. This is why we have so energetically pursued the psychological, psychoanalytical, and neuroscientific angles when attempting to create a unified theory of Death Stranding, the beach, and related phenomena. There was a fad a while back in which the subject underwent counseling in order to learn more about their beaches, and in so doing gain a greater understanding of the nature of death, dooms, sufferers in particular, very excellent opportunities for study. An interesting theoretical question arose during that period. If a person's beach was a product of their consciousness, might animals have beaches as well? A conundrum on the surface, perhaps, but one quickly resolved. Only human corpses undergo necrosis and become BTs, which proves somewhat conclusively that only a human can possess a beach. And yet, this begs another question. Of all that is required is consciousness akin to that of a human, could an AI have a beach? An android? I, for one, do not believe so. Why? Because the function of our beaches is to connect the world of the living and the world of the dead. If an entity who has never born, has not truly lived, and will never know death, surely it cannot have a beach. Egyptians, mummies, pyramids, etc. Then we'll read the Quarrels of the Seam, and then I'll see how much time is left in the video. At what point can it be said that man truly understood what it means to die? It would seem reasonable to suggest that it was when he began to bury his dead, a practice which originated with the Neanderthals. In a way, one might say that growing understanding of death drove our development as a species, our fear of it, our attempts to conquer it. Why, it could be argued our entire history revolves around these obsessions. Take the great pyramids of Egypt, or the tombs of the ancient emperors of China. The more powerful the person, the bigger and grander their final resting place. Or, to posit a more radical theory, could the very concept of power and society themselves have emerged solely to facilitate the creation of such monuments, such chants as the finality of death? No. Either way, in leaving behind something as they hoped might endure through the ages, the builders of these edifices believed they too might live on forever. The mummies of the Egyptians are another means by which man sought to fulfill his desire to escape the finality of death. They are created that the spiritual self, the ka, whatever physical vessel or ha, to which it could return. It's The the Soko Shinbutsu, or mummified monks of Buddhism, are similar in their respect. However, the monks in question aim to transition straight from the life of Buddhahood, in other words, forgo death altogether. But now that the beach has brought us into direct contact with the world beyond, the relationship with death must have further evolved. The next stage in understanding is upon us. And the creation of the scene. Life began in the oceans, and as it evolved, it graduated to land. At least this is the... I think I already read this, actually. So we have tips. We read all the mail. I don't have any bridge. I have received likes. But almost all of them are from NPCs. So actual humans don't care. Hey, I mean, that's what's basically happening here. How much time is left in the video here? A network error has occurred. But oddly enough, I passed more time doing that than I thought I did. And since we've had some long videos in the past, I'm actually perfectly comfortable to go ahead and call this a video. We'll see if we can get a number 2 grenade. We can't. We're just not pooping. We should really talk to a doctor. I mean, I don't know what their diet is in the future. But he is not pooping. Well, the only thing we ever see him consume is Monster Energy drink.
EX grenade number 0.
So we're going to check on BB. Maybe I should stop poking you when you're trying to sleep. I guess I'd have to take BB out in a rocket while I'm actually not in this room to build up a connection with BB, but I don't really know how that works. How would I check on that? Well, we can put on our awesome sunglasses for the next mission. Hang around looking all Mr. Cool here. That's probably enough. And activate the terminal. And yeah, didn't think we had quite enough. But maybe we do. View tips, interviews, activity log. What I wanted to actually look at is social NPCs. Yeah, we gotta go make closer friendship with Mr. Wind there, Jake Wind. That's the stupidest name ever. I need to be awarding more likes, maybe? Or, I don't know, putting down more signs. Greatest weight of cargo delivered at once, 102. I built one watchtower and nobody likes it. People have liked some of my ladders. I built a bridge, but it was a plot bridge. Whatever. How do I determine whether BB likes me? BT's defeated 17. Wow. I don't feel like I defeated that many in that last mission, so maybe it can't be counting the ones when I can't really be counting the ones when I load, right? It's only but whatever. Total water, rest indoors, showers taken, visits to the toilet. Likes from BB 9. BB connection level is really low. So, one thing I should consider is finding out how one goes about getting more likes from BB. Or just developing a closer relationship with the weird baby we're carrying around in a jar. Because I think having a high relationship with BB does improve, like, it helps you, like, it's the one that somehow allows you to see the BTs, if I'm understanding the game lore correctly. So I would think there would be some gameplay advantages to this thing liking us, but I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on, man. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video, and we managed to get over 30 minutes. So when we come back, we will actually continue. Whether it will be with forced directly into story or not, I'm not sure. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.